Hello everybody, this is the official Goldbar Games video log number 1. So we'll see how this goes, and I hope it goes really well, because if so, I'll keep doing it. I've just been thinking lately that I've had this YouTube channel for a while, and I haven't really done anything with it, which is kind of, I think, unfortunate because there's just so much potential with it. And yes, I know, YouTube is, imploding right now, and it's a terrible time to get started for anybody, but you know what? I don't care. My main source of income wouldn't be from YouTube anyway, so it doesn't matter if this gets monetized or demonetized or whatever. I have other ways of making money. I'm not a full-time YouTuber. However, there's a lot of potential that is to be found within YouTube, and I haven't been making the best of it. First and foremost, it gives me more than 140 characters, or I guess 280 now, because they doubled their limit on Twitter. Before YouTube, I used to be on Facebook and on Twitter, not just with my business accounts, but with my personal accounts. And I ended up deleting both of them. And I want to kind of explain why that happened and what I'm going to do now that it's been almost a year since I've deleted my Facebook. So, just to explain real quick why I left those platforms. It really was just because it was not good for my health. Looking at all these people who were not just doing things, it's like people have explained this before, where watching Facebook makes you more depressed because you see the best parts of everyone else's life, and you have to live with the worst parts of your own. But it's not just that. It's the fact that almost every day, even every day, I think, there's just some new thing about politics or news on there that they would try to shove down your throat. And if you don't like it, the only thing you can do is log out or turn your computer off, because everybody starts talking about it for the whole day. And if you dare to say anything about it, no matter what your side is or what your opinion is, somebody who disagrees with you is going to get into a fight with you. The two of you are going to fight over it, and at the end of the day, somebody's going to lose a friend. And that process repeated for a number of days, and I just didn't, I couldn't take it anymore because I didn't see the point in continuing such a stupid thing. Facebook as a platform became totally useless to me from a personal standpoint because I was no longer enjoying what I was doing. Each day just sort of became, let's see which friend is going to unfriend me today kind of thing. It became less and less about meaningful interactions between people. So as soon as I quit my Facebook, I immediately knew who my real friends were because they continued to contact me after I left. They still had, other ways of communicating with me. And I have to say that those interactions since then have been a lot more meaningful and a lot less unhealthy. I've had happier days since then, basically, in short. A similar thing happened with Twitter, where I had my personal Twitter, and then suddenly politics and news and fights leaked onto that thing. And it's different on Twitter a little bit because on Facebook it's mostly friends and family and people you know in real life. But if it's on Twitter, then most of them are going to be people you don't actually know. You haven't actually met them. And most of the time, you don't know what these people look like unless they have it in their profile picture or something. So these are essentially people that you don't actually know who they are. And I'm not knocking internet friends or anything because I have a lot of them, but it's a different dynamic compared to someone who's somebody that you actually know in person. So a lot of friends that I had on Twitter were people that I had worked with or had attempted to work with on certain video games. And, I wanted to be friends with them. I really did. And I still do if they're willing to do that. But it's like you make one little thing that they don't like. You say one thing that they disagree with. And it's just too much for them. They can't handle it, so they unfriend you, they block you, they do whatever. And most of the time, I don't even know why. I mean, I assume that it has to be because I said something they didn't like. And I know that there are a few different cases where I can almost certainly prove that it was because of that. But I can also tell just from reading what they post and from reading what I post that there's a massive difference there. And that certainly I'm not the only person to experience this kind of thing. It's not an isolated incident kind of deal. It happens all throughout Twitter and Facebook and social media. And so that's why I decided to quit, because it just wasn't worth the trouble. Now, there are also other reasons that I quit that factor into this, such as I only have a limited amount of time per day, and I don't want to spend it all chatting with people on social media. Every second that I spend talking with people about things that don't matter or about things that just make each other hate each other, that's one more second that I could be spending toward actually putting out a game that is not only one more step closer to the life that I want to be living, but also something that brings people together and makes them happier overall. And I would like to be the kind of person that creates something that people can sit down and enjoy without worrying about things like all of this mess on social media that I've been talking about. So my main point is that people play games for fun. At least I play games for fun. I play games to sit down and, sort of escape, you could say, the troubles of modern life, which I think everybody does ever since fiction was invented. You have to escape the troubles by enjoying yourself for a little bit, at least. You do something that you like to do. Some people read books. Some people watch movies. Some people play sports. Some people play video games. So everybody has a thing that they do to make themselves feel better and to just generally try to enjoy life. And that's what I want to try and add with my games. I want to make something that people can enjoy no matter who they are, no matter what they believe, even if we disagree with each other. And I want to stick by that first and foremost. Now, of course, I still have my own opinions, and we may disagree with each other on them, and I don't really want to get into all of them here, because that's not what the purpose of this channel is for. In fact, I would actually prefer to avoid talking about it, because it ultimately, like I said, just becomes a total waste of time, unless we're actually going to set aside some time and, maybe mutually agree that, nobody's going to get mad at each other for it. But that's too much work, and I'd rather just focus on making video games 99% of the time. So with that said, I still have social media accounts. They're just for my business. And, that's fine. I don't get to express my personal opinions as much, though. So that's a little bit of a downside that I've been having to think about lately, which is that, a lot of people... I can only imagine that the people who really stuck by me, my friends who really stuck by me when I had nobody else, they did so because they knew my personality. They did so because I wasn't just some sort of blank business. For the average person, they're going to be totally okay with me just being some sort of business that makes video games. They don't care who I am as long as I make something that's fun for them to play. And I like that idea a lot. It's fine. But, I can only imagine that a way of getting my stuff out there, my games out there, is to find an audience that is actually going to like me. So that's my recent situation, is thinking about how I'm going to find that audience. I'm looking for people who are interested in what I do, what I make, and even if we disagree on certain points, I think that would be really interesting to talk about them. I'm totally open to talking about things that I disagree with. And at the end of the day, we still might disagree with each other. But the one thing that might unite us all is the fact that we just want to play video games for fun. We want to play something that makes our days a little bit better. We want to play something that makes our days more interesting, that takes us out of those bad moments, that gives us new memories to share and to enjoy with other people. And so that's the kind of stuff I want to start making. I want to try and convey more of my personality through these videos and try and find people that we share a united idea, which is that games need to be fun, and there needs to be more fun games out there to play. So we can try to elaborate on what that means in later videos for a game to be fun, and what we think of that idea as fun being. But ultimately, I want to bring something positive to the table and share it with the world, and I just need to find my audience that is willing to cooperate with me to make that happen. So thank you for listening this far. I'll have more to say sometime down the road. But for now, this is the first video log for Goldbar Games. Kinjo signing out. Have a good day.